and welcome to Kent Tonight Live on KMTV. I'm Kristen Hawthorne and here are your top stories on Monday the 1st of September. The story continues. Man charged with arson in Rochester High Street fire. The front door, the surrounding areas and above it are irreparable. They all have to be replaced, so the damage is extensive. We're very, very lucky that Kent Fire Brigade got here and extinguished the fire when they did. Gaming for Growth. Maidstone Youth Charity uses arcade games to help tackle antisocial behaviour and poor mental health amongst young people.
It's just like you feel safe when you're in here, and it's not like you don't feel like anyone's going to start on you or anything like that.
Like judge you.
And Miles of Meaning. Gravesend man runs across the UK to raise money for a local hospice that helped his mum.
The last 3 days of the challenge were very tough. I had to walk the majority of the last 3 days just because my legs wouldn't allow me to run. So hopefully no long-term damage.
First tonight, last week, Rochester High Street was rocked as local comic book shop was subjected to what has now been labelled as an arson attack. Last Friday, a man was charged and the case is now set to be held at Maidstone Crown Court on the 26th of September. Ronnie Glasdell has more.
Fire, destruction, and panic. That's what residents of Rochester woke up to on a Tuesday morning when the front of Get Ready Comics was found in flames. Following an investigation, Zygmantas Dransika of no fixed address, age 31 and a Lithuanian national, has been charged with arson. The crime has resulted in costly damages, according to owner Paul Blakeborough.
Well into the thousands. Yeah, the original feature of the building was built in 1981, so the doors original feature, and it's like a 10-week build time. The features on the side, the boxing around the top, the moulding, it's all custom, it's all original features to the building, which is the saddest thing. But we're lucky that it's not one of the buildings from the 1800s that's been destroyed, so there is a positive.
This is what the shop's entrance used to look like. And this is what it looked like following the flames, believed to have started when the floral archway outside the door was deliberately set alight. Kent Police has said despite the devastation, Get Ready Comics is back in business, proving that not even fire can extinguish the community's support or its love for comics.
The outreach and the messages and the community have been amazing. I mean, I don't really notice it too much, but this kind of event has really kind of cemented how much the community care, and it's been an emotional few days without a doubt for us to realise that there's so much support and love out there for the shop and the people that come here. And I got called Spider-Man's dad earlier, so I'm thrilled by that. You know, this is a community place. A lot of people come here to chat and talk about the things that they love. So
Ronnie Glasdell for KMTV.
Police have shut Sandwich Road in Cliffsend near Ramsgate alongside the junction with Mount Green Avenue near the Hugon Viking longship after a sinkhole appeared yesterday. In recent years, sinkholes have become more of a regular occurrence, with several appearing across Kent, causing damage to infrastructure and costly repairs. But now, diversions have been set up and motorists are advised to take alternative routes. The Viking ship also wants people to know that it remains open and people are welcome to come along. Highways and the police have been contacted for comment regarding the latest sinkhole in Cliffsend. Next, 2 Asian hornet nests have been discovered in Broadstairs. Found just weeks apart, the British Beekeepers Association confirmed the findings and the Animal and Plant Health Agency destroyed the nests. Although they don't pose a risk greater than wasps or other hornets, Asian hornets, other known as yellow-legged hornets, are a big threat to honeybees and insect pollinators, and one single hornet can kill up to 90 honeybees a day. The British Beekeepers Association is now encouraging everyone to report any further sightings using the Asian Hornet Watch app and to not approach or disturb the nests yourself. Shocking CCTV shows the moment a drunk driver smashed into a popular seaside pub in Dungeness. The red car had approached the sharp bend in Battery Road when it veered off the carriageway into the pub. In the footage, you can see the 54-year-old man, Howard Sargent, speeding his Toyota into the Pilot Inn after admittedly drinking throughout the day. He's then seen, which you'll see in just a second, him calmly walking away from the scene. Despite being tested more than 9 hours after the crash, he was still over the limit for driving. Sargent stated that he was surprised at this result. He could now face up to 6 months in jail, an unlimited fine and a driving ban. But next, Switch Youth Services in Maidstone have opened a new arcade room, aiming to give young people in the town something to do with their free time, rather than simply hanging around the centre or causing trouble. The new games room features an arcade machine, games consoles and an air hockey table, which, combined with the open access policy at the centre, helps more young people who need advice and support through their doors. Finn McDermott went down to Switch to talk to some of those young people who attend.
It's just like you feel safe when you're in here, and it's not like you don't feel like anyone's going to start on you or anything like that.
Like judge you.
Because I didn't go to school, so I was hanging around with the wrong people, and I was getting myself in a lot of unnecessary issues.
For young people in Maidstone, often it can be difficult to have something to do, leading to groups loitering around the town, which can lead to antisocial behaviour. In fact, in January of this year, Maidstone was the worst major town in Kent for antisocial behaviour, with 126 crimes reported. But a new addition to One Youth Service hopes they can get teenagers off the street and instead into some street fighter.
Oh, the young people have loved it. They've absolutely loved it because we have a pool table upstairs anyway, and the young people are getting a little bit bored because the games can be quite lengthy of the pool, so they love coming down here and they love playing air hockey because we do tournaments, that sort of stuff, and it gets all the kids involved really nicely. And then obviously the kids love the arcade machine as well, so it's really good.
If you're a young person and you don't feel like you have that much to do, a lot of the time it can feel like you're just invading space if you're hanging around in a town centre or in a car park. But the open access policy here at Switch means that young people can come and go as they please, playing games and, most importantly, talking to trusted adults. And the name Switch, you might think, is related to games consoles, but it's more about switching around people's lives.
Because I didn't go to school, so I was hanging around with the wrong people, and I was getting myself in a lot of unnecessary issues and trouble with just stuff that was unnecessary, that because I didn't have somewhere to spend my time and people to talk to, I had literally do nothing productive with my day and just mess around really.
If you didn't have Switch, what would you typically be doing on your evenings, with your days, that sort of thing?
Walking around town and getting into trouble.
Yeah.
And tell me, what do you like about the arcade room?
It's so much fun. Let's
Yeah.
just have some fun out here.
And there's like something to do. Well, there always is, but like now there's like we can play games and we can all like just get involved together. And it's not just a pool table upstairs. We've got this now as well.
Well, Switch Youth Services hope the new arcade room will mean more young people will come through their doors rather than spend their free time on the streets. Finn McDermott for KMTV in Maidstone.
Now, passengers across Kent have been held up at Gillingham train station since this morning due to a signalling failure. Trains running through Medway to Faversham have been cancelled, with rail replacement buses covering the stations until further notice. To give us more information, joining me now with the latest updates on the delays is reporter Megan Shore. So, Megan, can you tell us what's going on with the trains? We've had lots of people late to the office today and saying their trains have been cancelled. So what's happening?
So unfortunately, there's been a signalling failure at Gillingham train station, and that's meant that all rail services between Gravesend, Rainham and Faversham have been disrupted since this morning. All services running through all the Medway towns, including the London and the high-speed Dover services, have been cancelled or delayed for 90 minutes.
Right, and what are they doing about it? Is there any plans to help people maybe get home?
So the issue started around 10:20 a.m. and since then South Eastern Railway have been really good on posting on X, keeping everyone informed, but they've said that they think the disruption will last until 7 p.m. They're giving frequent updates and they've made sure that there are rail replacement buses between Faversham and Gillingham to make sure everyone gets home safe, and there's very recently been a limited train service which is running from London St Pancras.
Right. And I know that you've reached out to South Eastern Rail about this. Did they get back to you?
I have, and they said I spoke to the South Eastern Railway spokesman, Andy Commons, and he apologised on behalf of South Eastern Railway. He also said that we know how frustrating this is, and we are working hard to ensure that services return to normal as quickly as possible. He says an hourly service from London St Pancras to Faversham and Ramsgate is now in place alongside rail replacement buses, and tickets will be accepted on alternative routes. Customers are advised to keep checking the South Eastern website or app for up-to-date information.
Okay, so hopefully people will be able to get home okay today then.
I hope so.
I actually did a report about this in May when they released the best and worst train stations in Kent, because they were talking about the different delays that they had and stuff. And they did say, South Eastern said that they were investing millions to fix issues like signalling, drainage. They have a lot of weather disruptions as well. Did they comment on that at all?
They didn't know, and it's a shame because it's not the first signalling problem we've seen this year. There was one only in June because of a fire that caused significant disruptions in Medway as well.
Yes, well, I mean, we'll have to follow the story because it is certainly something that affects, obviously, a lot of people here, and especially in Gillingham today. Thank you, Megan. All right, well, time for a quick break now, but coming up, we're going to find out more about the man who's run the length of England to raise money for Eleanor Hospice in memory of his mother who passed away from cancer. We'll also be taking a look at the weather for the coming days to see if it's going to be raining anymore where you are. It was absolutely pouring outside the office today. We will also have a recap of our top headlines in case you missed it. But in the meantime, don't forget you can keep up to date with all your latest stories across Kent by logging onto our website, kmtv.co.uk. All that and more after the break.
Become a Kent Online subscriber for unlimited access to award-winning journalism from across the county. Browse the premium version of our website with no intrusive ads for uninterrupted scrolling on your desktop, mobile or tablet. Enjoy unrivaled coverage of news, sport and leisure in Kent, including content exclusive to subscribers. Read fascinating features in our in-depth section and head down memory lane by delving into our decades archive. Keep up to date with politics in Kent and Westminster and the latest on and off the field with our extensive sports coverage, including specialist Jill's reporting. Enjoy weekly digital editions of all KM titles and swipe for the same page-turning experience as the newspaper. Download, share and print out the pages you want and tackle fun puzzles such as crosswords and Sudoku. Plus, unlock our extensive archive of past papers stretching back more than 10 years. Becoming a subscriber is easy. Visit kentonline.co.uk and click the subscribe tab at the top right of the screen. Choose the package that suits you with options to pay monthly or annually. Once you've signed up, check your email for a thank you message from us and details on how to get the most out of our subscription. Kent Online, news you can trust.
Welcome back to Kent Tonight Live here on KMTV. Now, a police chase that took place in the early hours of Saturday resulted in a multi-vehicle crash in Chatham. Ending up on Otway Street, 2 police vehicles and 3 others piled up in an accident where multiple people had to be freed from their cars by firefighters. A 29-year-old man from Rochester who was taken to hospital was arrested on suspicion of dangerous driving, drink driving and driving while unfit through drink or drugs after failing to stop for a constable. And he is currently on bail while inquiries continue. Next, the completion of a multi-million-pound project to improve the A249 Grovehurst Junction near Sittingbourne has been delayed for a 3rd time. Kent County Council announced today that the work won't be finished until the beginning of 2026, nearly a year later than the original plan. They stated that it's due to complications in planning, poor weather conditions and works on surrounding roads, which has caused the project timeline to slip. KCC's Cabinet Member for Highways and Transport, Peter Osborne, says the scheme is progressing well and that they will continue to work with their contractor to minimise further delays. And now, imagine running the length of England in just 2 weeks. Well, that's what one man from Gravesend has just accomplished. Amal Rahawa ran 891 miles to raise money for Eleanor Hospice, a charity which holds a special place in his heart. Earlier today, I spoke with him, along with Lisa from Eleanor, about the journey. Thank you both for joining me this evening. I just wanted to start off with Lisa. Can you tell me a bit about the charity and why fundraising events like this are so important to you?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for having us. So Eleanor is a local hospice. We're based in Gravesham, but we cover Gravesend, Gravesham, Dartford, Swanley and Bexley, so North Kent. We specialise in looking after people and families with life-limiting illnesses, including children, and every pound raised for Eleanor is fantastic for our community and for the care that we can provide.
Excellent. And then, Amal, we'll give this one to you. I mean, you ran from Birtwick upon Tweed to Land's End in Cornwall. What was that like? And can you tell us why you did that for this charity?
So basically, my mum passed away 20 years ago at the Lions Hospice. So I felt like I needed to do something more than just a marathon. Although a marathon is still challenging, and it would still be a challenge for me, but it's so difficult for me to keep asking people to raise money or donate to me to just run a marathon. So I needed to do something a bit more. So I decided, I think I was out on a run in January at some point, and I just decided that it needed to be something as big as this. So yeah, the whole challenge was just crazy. I just can't even explain in words how difficult, how it broke me down numerous times. I anticipated it to be difficult, but I didn't think it was going to be as tough as it was. But I'm glad it's over. It's a relief to be home.
Yeah, I can imagine it would be quite a challenge for lots of different reasons, really. I mean, are you still recovering? And you must be quite proud of yourself, really.
Yeah, the sense of the satisfaction, the sense of achievement. It feels really good to get it done. But yeah, I've just went to the doctors today trying to get a referral letter. I just need a scan on my legs. Potential torn calf, something's not right, and something on my right ankle's not the best. But the last 3 days of the challenge were very tough. I had to walk the majority of the last 3 days just because my legs wouldn't allow me to run. So hopefully no long-term damage, but I'm not in a rush to get back to running anytime soon anyway.
No, and so this was obviously for a good cause, and you did raise a lot of money despite maybe your difficulties. Lisa, can you tell me how much was raised and what that's going to contribute towards?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Amal set himself a target of £40,000, which was incredible. And with the amazing support that he's had from all of the donations, I think you're up to 34,000 plus gift aid. So about 84% of his target, which is an amazing achievement. So congratulations, Amal. It will give us the chance to, again, just give more care to our patients and the people we look after and their families, crucially, which covers anything from bereavement counselling to play therapy, We try to cover a whole spectrum of facilities really at our wellbeing centre here. So it will definitely contribute massively to the services we provide.
That's wonderful news. And I mean, Amal, I know that you said that you hope to inspire others to do the same and support smaller charities. Do you feel like that's not done enough? And do you feel like you've done a good job in this sense and inspired other people?
Definitely. I've had hundreds of messages, people messaging me and saying it's inspired them. So that's probably the best thing I've taken from it all. So I'm hoping people, again, it doesn't need to be something as crazy as this. It could be anything. As long as I think giving back to the local community is a good thing to do. So I think this challenge has brought the community close together. I've had, I think, 920 donations, majority of them from probably people in Gravesend. So it just shows you what our community can do when they get together.
Yeah, and I know you said you're not going to be running anytime soon, but are you going to be doing any more fundraising soon, or are you maybe taking a break for the time being?
Again, this is a sticky situation now because obviously I've set myself such a high target. I don't think people will be donating to me anytime soon for doing anything small. So I will do in the future. It'll just be down a different sort of avenue. Maybe not pushing my body, but maybe something along the lines of organising a race or a half marathon, or organising like a ball or a festival, or something along them lines where people can actually enjoy it as well.
And that's it. I mean, it's not just all about the money either, really. And I mean, what awareness does this bring to the charity, Lisa? I mean, I can imagine that if people maybe don't know about the charity or haven't heard about it, they might have now, and that could be quite a good thing.
Absolutely. The attention we've received in the last 14 days has been incredible. So we've had donations, not, as you say, just from Gravesend, but really people that Amal's run past all over the country. I think we've even had some donations from abroad. So the story has reached far and wide, and all that's doing is raising awareness of Eleanor as well, and the work that we do. So we're forever grateful for that. Amazing.
Excellent. And then just before we go, can you maybe tell our audience a bit about how they can help or how they can donate to the charity, either what you're doing, Amal, or to Lisa, the charity itself?
Yeah, well, Amal has his own Just Giving page. You can find that through our website, eleanor.org. And please, if anyone can donate, fantastic. He definitely deserves it. He deserves it. I don't know what we can do or say to show how appreciative we are. But yes, that would be wonderful. And he's totally outdone anything that I've seen before. So I'm in awe.
Amazing, guys. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, and we'll follow your story, and best of luck in the future.
Thank you.
Now, don't forget you can keep up to date with all our latest stories across Kent by logging onto our website, kmtv.co.uk. There you'll find all the reports, including this one about Chatham Historic Dockyard welcoming veterans of the HMS Endurance, as well as a new painting that was unveiled.
This painting recaptures the incredible moment 10,000 people welcomed the HMS Endurance at Medway. Created by Bierstead artist Catherine Oldham, this special artwork was revealed for the homecoming of the vessel's veterans and even some of the journalists who witnessed the ship's return after it was at sea for 11 months as part of the Falklands War.
Endurance played a major role in that. It warned the British government that the Argentinians were going to invade the Falklands. It played a major part during the Falklands War, and so returning home needs to be remembered. We need to know why it is important to remember our history.
It might have been scrapped long ago, but the HMS Endurance has come back to life thanks to this oil painting. The reveal was followed by a toast of rum to memories of the last remaining icebreaker in the conflict.
HMS Endurance! It was unbelievable. School kids on the tugs all screaming and just like going into everywhere else. And I say, 66-year-old, if it was not the greatest day of my life, it is certainly one of the greatest days of my life. You know, will live with me till till the day I die.
I came to Chatham about 5 years ago, and there was a big display about the endurance there then, and that was quite emotional, bringing tears to my eyes, because it was a big part of my life being on board.
Well, I think it's because we'd done so much before the war down the Antarctic, and just to keep it, Captain Nick Barker, we'd like to keep his memory alive, and he was HMS Endurance. He was a true gentleman and a true professional, a man that shot from the hip, and he was just very, very professional man.
So it looks like this legendary Navy ship will live on in painting to inspire a new generation. Henry Luck for KMTV in Chatham.
Now it's time to take a look at the weather forecast. Tonight is looking partly cloudy with temperatures around 14 and 15 degrees with some light rain over in Dover. Tomorrow morning then brings heavy rain in most parts of the county with temperatures around the mid-teens and wind speeds hitting 9 and 11. Into the afternoon, more rain is to be expected across the board, temperatures rising to 17 and 18 degrees. And then for the rest of the week then, we've got 21 degrees on Wednesday, 21 on Thursday, 21 on Friday as well. But we've got rain on Wednesday and Thursday and then seemingly clear skies on Friday. Time for a quick break now, but we'll see you in just a few minutes. Hello and welcome to Kent Tonight Live on KMTV. I'm Kristen Hawthorne and here's a recap of your top stories on Monday, the 1st of September. The story continues. Man charged with arson in Rochester High Street fire. Gaming for Growth. Maidstone Youth Charity uses arcade games to help tackle antisocial behaviour and poor mental health amongst young people. And Miles of Meaning. Gravesend man runs across the UK to raise money for a local hospice that helped his mum. But first, last week, Rochester High Street was rocked as a local comic book shop was subjected to what has now been labelled as an arson attack. Last Friday, a man was charged and the case is now set to be held at Maidstone Crown Court on the 26th of September. Ronnie Glostal has more.
Fire, destruction, and panic. That's what residents of Rochester woke up to on a Tuesday morning when the front of Get Ready Comics was found in flames. Following an investigation, Zygmantas Dransika, of no fixed address, age 31 and a Lithuanian national, has been charged with arson. The crime has resulted in costly damages, according to owner Paul Blakeborough.
Well into the thousands. Yeah, the original feature of the building was built in 1981, so the doors original feature, and it's like a 10-week build time. The features on the side, the boxing around the top, the moulding, it's all custom, it's all original features to the building, which is the saddest thing. But we're lucky that it's not one of the buildings from the 1800s that's been destroyed, so there is a positive.
This is what the shop's entrance used to look like. And this is what it looked like following the flames, believed to have started when the floral archway outside the door was deliberately set alight. Kent Police has said despite the devastation, Get Ready Comics is back in business, proving that not even fire can extinguish the community's support or its love for comics.
The outreach and the messages and the community have been amazing. I mean, I don't really notice it too much, but this kind of event has really kind of cemented how much the community care, and it's been an emotional few days without a doubt for us to realise that there's so much support and love out there for the shop and the people that come here. And I got called Spider-Man's dad earlier, so I'm thrilled by that. You know, this is a community place. A lot of people come here to chat and talk about the things that they love. So
Ronnie Glassthal for KMTV.
Now, drivers across Kent are facing a 40% increase for the Dartford crossing as of today. People across the county are hit with a £1 increase, putting extra financial pressure on residents in the south east. Our reporter Holly Spires joins me live in the studio now to tell us more. So, I mean, what do we know so far about this?
So, as of today, September 1st, Dartford crossing charges are going to be rising by £1, marking the first increase since 2014. So that's 11 years since they've gone up. So the jump equates to approximately a 40% increase for most vehicle types. So going from £2.50 to £3.50 for cars, motorhomes and small minibuses, and then buses, coaches, twin axle vans from £3 to £4.20, and then lorries and vehicles with more than 2 axles from £6 to £8.40.
So you said the last time there was an increase was in 2014, like you said, 11 years ago. Why is it happening now? Why are we only seeing an increase now?
So the Department for Transport have announced the increase as a way to manage excessive traffic congestion. Now, if you're a frequent user of the Dartford crossing, like myself, you'll know that the traffic is very bad, let's just say. The crossing handles approximately 150,000 vehicles daily and 180,000 on peak days, which is essentially exceeding the design capacity.
And do you think that this is going to have an impact on Kent residents here? I mean, you've been investigating a little bit.
Yes, so I've spoken to a lot of Kent residents today, and it does add extra financial pressure to a lot of people that use the Dartford crossing. These fees are perceived by some people as yet another tax-like burden. And, you know, the people of Kent and Essex use the Dartford crossing frequently, so I think it is very unfair, and a lot of the Kent residents have said that this is really unfair, as the Dartford crossing tolls were supposed to be temporary.
Right, OK. Well, thank you so much, Holly, and we'll follow the story on that as it continues. Now, the Invicta Harley Davidson chapter organised a 140-mile sponsored ride in aid of vital medical service. The charity supporter sought to raise funds for the emergency service for the emergency response volunteers, Kent Blood Runners, who've been transporting life-saving supplies since 1993. On Saturday morning, over 50 bike riders set off on this ride from Rochester Airport, visiting 7 different hospitals in the county, ending their route over in Moorgate. Fundraiser Des Cross say, "We had people in tears, but there seemed to be a lot of support and it really went well. We will have to see how much money we've raised." Now over to football, with today marking transfer deadline day. The Gills have signed a new defender on loan, while there are also reports of a striker sale. Watford Travis Ikomia has signed a loan deal with the Gills until the new year, with the 19-year-old defender saying he's looking forward to his first loan. It's not the only transfer news though, with striker Joe Cabode reportedly having £300 of fee agreed for his sale to Luton Town. The last majority sale from the Gills was Bradley Dack back in 2017. Tongue twister, those ones. Switch Youth Services in Maidstone have opened a new arcade room aiming to give young people in the town something to do with their free time, rather than simply hanging around the centre or causing trouble. The new games room features an arcade machine, games consoles and an air hockey table, which, combined with the open access policy at the centre, helps to get more young people who need advice and support through their doors. Finn McDermott's been down to Switch to talk to some of the young people who attend.
It's just like you feel safe when you're in here, and it's not like you don't feel like anyone's going to start on you or anything like that.
Like judge you.
Because I didn't go to school, so I was hanging around with the wrong people, and I was getting myself in a lot of unnecessary issues.
For young people in Maidstone, often it can be difficult to have something to do, leading to groups loitering around the town, which can lead to antisocial behaviour. In fact, in January of this year, Maidstone was the worst major town in Kent for antisocial behaviour, with 126 crimes reported. But a new addition to One Youth Service hopes they can get teenagers off the street and instead into some street fighter.
Oh, the young people have loved it. They've absolutely loved it, because we have a pool table upstairs anyway, and the young people are getting a little bit bored because the games can be quite lengthy of the pool, so they love coming down here, and they love playing air hockey because we do tournaments, that sort of stuff, and it gets all the kids involved really nicely. And then obviously the kids love the arcade machine as well, so it's really good.
If you're a young person and you don't feel like you have that much to do, a lot of the time it can feel like you're just invading space if you're hanging around in a town centre or in a car park. But the open access policy here at Switch means that young people can come and go as they please, playing games and, most importantly, talking to trusted adults. And the name Switch, you might think, is related to games consoles, but it's more about switching around people's lives.
Because I didn't go to school, so I was hanging around with the wrong people, and I was getting myself in a lot of unnecessary issues and trouble with just stuff that was unnecessary, that because I didn't have somewhere to spend my time and people to talk to, I had literally do nothing productive with my day and just mess around really.
If you didn't have Switch, what would you typically be doing on your evenings, with your days, that sort of thing?
Walking around town and getting into trouble.
Yeah.
And tell me, what do you like about the arcade room?
It's so much fun. Let's
Yeah.
just have some fun out here.
And there's like something to do. Well, there always is, but like now there's like we can play games and we can all like just get involved together. And it's not just a pool table upstairs. We've got this now as well.
Well, Switch Youth Services hope the new arcade room will mean more young people will come through their doors rather than spend their free time on the streets. Finn McDermott for KMTV in Maidstone.
Well, to tell us more, Finn joins me now to talk about the Switch Youth Services and what they offer young people. So, I mean, what do they offer then? And I mean, what did you see when you were down there?
Well, it's like you say, they are a youth charity and they offer advice and support for any young person who might be going through a difficult time. And really at the core of what they do is when you're a young person and you might need some advice, oftentimes if you want to talk to teachers, parents or even your other friends, there's always that fear. And that's what the young people there were telling me. There's this fear of what they might say or how people might react. So the idea behind Switch is to have adult volunteers who are able to talk to these young people on a level where they can really be understanding
understanding, and there's no expectation of what they might say or if they might react in a negative way. And the new arcade room is designed to really help facilitate that. As you saw there, some of the young people were really having a really great time on the air hockey table, on the arcade machines, and it's that kind of, it's building up that really engaging environment, and an environment in which people feel comfortable and free to talk. And what's especially interesting, I found out, is that they run under what's called an open access policy, meaning if you're a young person and you attend, you don't have to write your name down or sign in or out or anything like that. And it really just helps with that open communication between the volunteers and the young people there.
Yeah, it is something that's very important. I mean, over the years, there's been a lot of these services which have closed down. And when you were down there talking to the kids there and the children there, did they say that there was nothing else really for them to do?
Yes, as you heard in the piece there, I was speaking to a few of the young people. Many said that without this sort of taking up some of their free time, they really wouldn't have much to do except for hang around the town centre and, in their own words, cause trouble. In fact, in that arcade room, some of the volunteers there, who were also young people, were telling me that they helped decorate the room, they helped do the painting, and it was just activities like those that really helped take up some of their free time. But yeah, and one young man also told me how he wasn't in school before he joined Switch. After joining Switch, he was able to learn some key life skills, and I'm happy to say he's now back in school. So it's a very nice environment there.
And just quickly, I mean, for maybe children that are thinking of going down, do you know what age it's for?
I believe it is ages 8 up, and then I believe if you are between the ages of, I want to say, 18 to 24, you may come as well. I believe there's also some allowances for those with additional needs going up into that upper age range.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Finn. Time for a quick break now, but don't go anywhere as we've lots of things coming up, like the weather. We'll see you very soon in just a few minutes. Bye-bye.
The Care Politics Show, live on KMTV.
Welcome back to Kent Tonight Live here on KMTV. A 3-year-old from Dover has just had a bus named after him. The fast track transit system was launched in Dover last November, which linked the railway station with places such as Dover Castle. Jacob has become a regular rider alongside his grandmother, Sarah Merritt. He was treated to an exclusive visit to the depot located in Whitfield, where he was able to explore the engineering workshops. The main highlight of his day, though, came when he found his name printed permanently on the side of one of the stagecoach's buses. But now don't forget you can keep up to date with all our latest stories across Kent by logging on to our website kmtv.co.uk. There you'll find all our latest reports, including this one about a wartime site filled with Nissen huts, army vehicles and underground plotting rooms, which is under threat. Nissen hut bases, army vehicles and underground plotting rooms. All at the site that was purchased 16 years ago, where years of uncovering and restoring Kent's history has taken place.
So this is Capel Battery Site. It was built in 1941 after the Battle of Britain to shore up the defences against the Germans' possible invasion. It was closed down just after the war and been derelict until 2009 when my father purchased the site. This site is the only gun battery site with a plotting room and underground shelter and the gun emplacement in the whole of the country. So unique.
The team here applied for retrospective planning to add a second Nissen hut and other projects like a plane that they've converted into a livable space. So this is inside the plane that Martin doesn't think he's going to be able to get planning permission for, and that's why he's selling it even after years of refurbishment. It has a kitchen, sofa, original storage and windows, and at the front of the plane you can even pretend to be a pilot. But now, the Folkestone and Hythe District Council is threatening enforcement to remove them all on the basis that they cannot prove it's a museum.
Because it's on the heritage coastline, it's an area of outstanding natural beauty, but because of the Nissen hut was originally rebuilt on the Nissen hut base, all we're doing is replacing like for like. And we still don't understand how the council can say that it still doesn't, it's not in keeping. And it's got refused because we couldn't prove that this was a World War II Heritage Museum site.
Martin says that if this site is denied permission to become a museum, these parts of history would have to be hidden away from veterans, school kids and enthusiasts who often come to visit.
Yeah, it's just an oversight on our part. There was nothing malicious with it at all. But hopefully we can get enough support and try and get the council to see sense.
After posting about their situation on Facebook, it's clear that they've got public support. But will it be enough? In a statement, Folkestone and Hythe District Council said that retrospective planning permission for the erection of a Nissen hut and the sitting of 4 storage containers was refused in April 2025. Discussions with the applicant to try to resolve the matter are ongoing. They denied to comment further. So as the site is caught in the crossfire of history, preservation and planning, it's evident that the team and those on Facebook are waiting hopefully to find out what's happening as the battle for planning permission continues. Kristen Hawthorne for KMTV in Chapel of Fern. Next tonight, West Bay has recently been reopened after a potential bomb was detonated. An alleged mortar shell was found by metal detector hobbyist Carl Border on the shore a couple of days ago. He said, "I have dug up bullet tips and things like that before, but this was far bigger. At first it looked like an aerosol can, but when I picked it up in my sand scoop, it was far heavier." With lifeguards informed, the area was evacuated and a cordon was later set up until an explosive ordnance disposal team could attend. The item was detonated at around 11:30 a.m. yesterday morning. But now it's time to take a look at the weather forecast for the coming days. Okay, tonight is looking partly cloudy with temperatures around 14 and 15 degrees with some light rain over in Dover. Tomorrow morning brings heavy rain in most parts of the county with temperatures in the mid-teens and wind speeds hitting 9 and 11 miles per hour. Into the afternoon then, more rain is to be expected across the board, temperatures rising to 18 17 and 18 though. And then for the rest of the week, we've got 21 on Wednesday, 21 on Thursday and 21 on Friday, with rain on Wednesday and Thursday. Now, a bruising game has put the Medway Dragons just a win away from competing in the prestigious Challenge Cup. The side was up against the Elbridge Eagles from near Tunbridge, who dominated the first half. But as Finn McDermott discovered, it takes more than that to beat the best five-town side.
It's the half-time break at the finals of the London and East Men's Premier Division, and even though they've gone almost unbeaten this season, the Medway Dragons are behind to Elbridge Eagles by 18 points. And if they don't win here, their hopes of getting to the Challenge Cup could be over. Try after try has come in, and all hope seems lost. But the Dragons love nothing if not a comeback. As soon as the break is over, the Dragons start scoring, and they just don't stop, with Mason O'Neill scoring 4 by himself.
I think it was from the half-time talk, really. We got a bit of an earful. I agree with this, and from what the rest of the boys said, it wasn't our best start, and if in fact I think it was the worst start. So we got an earful, and I think a couple of subs impacted how the game went, and obviously come away with a result. Our emotions don't sum up, really. We've been working all year to lead to this point. The game started how we didn't want it to start, but I think the boys managed to turn it around pretty quick and come away with a result.
The rain started to come down, and with it the Dragons managed to clinch the win, 36-18.
Yeah, we just went back to the basics. Our coach Martin came and spoke to us and just said we got to play simple, get back to some one-up rugby league, and if we start doing that, because of the size of the boys that we've got and the weight of the boys that we've got coming on to play, we knew we'd be able to get the better of them, because we've done that at their place earlier in the season, and we did that when they visited us earlier in the season as well. So we just knew we've got this. We've been in this situation before. We know that we can pull it back, and that's what we ended up doing. And what a second half it was.
The Eagles had a strong start, but suffered injuries in the first half, while the Dragons conserved their energy.
I think it was a few factors. It weren't just one. I think we got a bit complacent. Obviously, the first try from Medway was a great try, well worked, and we just didn't stop their momentum. And everyone knows once Medway built that momentum, you're never going to stop it. They're coming downhill, wind's behind them. Obviously, it's their home ground, and yeah, once they had that momentum, the fans were behind them. The fans were great, and we didn't stop it, and they just kept building and building and building.
And once the clouds darkened, the heavens opened, the rain came pouring down. The Dragons proved after 4 years of waiting why they are the kings of the southeastern skies.
If the Dragons win their next tournament match, they'll get through to the first round of the Challenge Cup. But first, they'll have to survive a weekend of celebrations.
Finn McDermott for KMTV in Medway.
Well, it's been a week of good fortune for our Kent sports teams as we continue to end the summer. The Gills have managed to win against Oldham at the weekend and are now top of the table. And in rugby, the Medway Dragons managed to clinch a comeback against Elmbridge Eagles, getting one step closer to the first round of the Challenge Cup. Right after this will be our sports show Invicta Sports. And to discuss this and more, the show's presenter and producer, Finn McDermott, joins me now. So, you were obviously then at that rugby game. What was the atmosphere like?
It was a really interesting one. I don't watch too much rugby myself, but I found myself being really drawn into it. In the first half, obviously, Elmbridge Eagles, who are from London, they built up a huge lead. I think it was 18 points, try after try after try. And you could see there the members of Medway Dragons having discussion after one of those tries, saying, well, how do we come back from this? And it was during that half-time talk, they came back, and they really just came back into their own. 36-18 was the final score. And you can see there some of the tries that were scored on them, but here we go, you can see coming back and scoring some more. It was a really great game, and for them it's big. They haven't won this in 4 years. It's been on the cards for them, and they brought in at half-time some of their subs and just really powered through that last half. It was a great match to watch. Yeah, excellent. I do quite like rugby myself, and it seems it's something that's becoming quite a lot bit more popular in recent times. I mean, we've just had the women's rugby there as well. We heard a bit about the transfer news earlier there when I was speaking about it, and what else can you tell us then? Well, we do know that the Gills have completed a loan signing. That is Travis, I think it's Acomia is how it's pronounced. The 19-year-old comes from Watford, but he has
I believe played for Chelsea as well, so he's got some good high league minutes under his belt, but he's really looking to break into a first-team squad. So it's good to see that from them, and I think it'll be a really great signing for the Gills. And also, we have had some reports in of the exclusive news, of Joe Gabode's fee signing. I think it was £300,000 for the sale of Gabode to. It escapes me now. Joe Gabode. Where did he go, Kristen? I've lost it.
All the names are hard to remember, aren't they? But it's all very exciting either way.
Luton Town. He's reportedly going to Luton Town. My mistake there. But excellent. Yeah, so it's all very interesting. I believe the last major sale from the Gills was Bradley Dack. Gills fans will remember going to Blackburn in 2017. So very interesting, and we'll see more about that news as the updates continue to come in.
Yeah, something else we'll see more of is sports, which is starting, Invicta Sports starting at 6:30 this evening. Can you tell us a bit what people can expect?
Well, you can expect more rugby, more football. We'll also have another look at some of the cricket news coming out, and we'll also be taking a trip down to the track. We'll be taking a look at how Jake Hill's been doing. I think he suffered a bit of a crash in one of his recent races, so we'll have a look at that, and we'll also be taking a brief look at obviously the football results, no matter where you are in the county. It's not just Gills. Some interesting results coming in, and we take a specific look at a really interesting Maidstone match. There were so many goals scored in extra time for some really interesting late winners.
Fabulous. Well, I'm sure everyone's very excited to see that straight after the show. But that's it from us this evening on KMTV. And thank you very much for joining, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.